This game has an element of financial risk and may be addictive. Please play responsibly. This game has an element of financial risk and may be addictive. Please play responsibly and at your own risk. This game has an element of financial risk and may be addictive. Please play responsibly and at your own risk. This game has an element of financial risk and may be addictive. Please play responsibly and at your own risk.
Good evening, namaskar, and welcome. My name is Peter Abraham, and I am thrilled to welcome you to the grandest final table of this 10th edition of the India Online Poker Championship. This IOPC, which is powered by SpartanPoker.com, and now it's time to get to the main event, the 3.5 crore guaranteed IOPC Crown Tournament. Well, the buy-in for this Crown Tournament, this main event, was just 11,000 rupees, and the potential payoff for that kind of a buy-in is massive. This is an most awaited final table, and there's a lot of prestige in general about winning a main event, and everyone wants to claim this IOPC Crown Tournament in particular, because the main event is always been on the cards for any serious player or even semi-serious player. That's a title that they definitely want to take down. Now, this main event extravaganza started back on the 25th of January, and there have been 8 starting flights going into this IOPC Crown main event, and we've had a massive turnout, 3,985 registrations, which is quite insane a number. And these finalists who are on this table, these 8 players who are battling it out for the biggest share of the prize pool, I mean, to have waded the waters of almost 4,000 entries, that is an unbelievable accomplishment in its own right. And of course, the guarantee of 3.5 crores was crushed. And we've got almost 4 crores in the prize pool, 3.985 crores to be absolutely precise. And the final payouts look something like this. Up top is 51.8 lakhs for the winner of the crown. And that is followed by 29 lakhs, 92,000 for the second place finisher. You can see that huge gap. I mean, that's a massive, massive pay jump. So I would expect that these players are not going to give too much of an inch given or taken for that matter, because there's so much to play for. So in third place, you've got 17.53 lakhs. Fourth place payout is 14.14 lakhs. Fifth place payout gets 11.55 lakhs. And then we get into the slightly smaller payouts. Sixth place gets 9.56 lakhs. Seventh gets 7.57 lakhs. And everyone is assured a payday of 5.77 lakhs which is the min payout on this final table of 8. So there's a lot of prize money to play for, no doubt about that. And that's not all. The winner of this mega event not just takes home the prize of 51 lakhs, but they also get an 18-carat gold and diamond crown and a diamond-studded 18-carat gold IOPC badge. I mean, come on. There's just way too much bling that's happening in this tournament. And the biggest bling of them all happens right here at this main event. The crown, the IOPC crown, will literally get a crown. The winner of this tournament will literally get a crown, and literally and figuratively get a crown. So before I tell you about who all made it to the final table to claim that crown potentially, let me first tell you about the two poker experts who are going to join me and call the action on this fantastic grand final table. Originally from Shanghai in China, Celina Lin is a name to reckon with in the Asian poker scene, and indeed the global poker scene as well. She was bitten by the poker bug back in 2004, and don't be surprised when I tell you that she learned the game inside out before building a $10,000 bankroll online in just 3 weeks. And it didn't take her long to solidify herself into a pro. And she's not only the first ever female to win the Macau Poker Cup's main event, which is the Red Dragon, back in 2009, but she's got two of them. She's got two Red Dragon main events. She won the second one in 2012, and she's got a whole bunch of other accomplishments to her name. The list goes on. And joining Celina and myself will be one of our very own champions from the India Poker Championships 2012 main event, where he shipped the big game, and as a result of which he became an overnight sensation. They were running through the streets taking his name, and that name was Richard Haridasoham. And so, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Celina Lin and Richard Haridasoham to this live stream. Celina, Richard, welcome to the live stream. We are here at the main event, of course, the crown of the IOPC, so to speak. And there are some interesting names on this table. But before we get into that, let me quickly talk about, the fact that the main event in any series, Celina, you've been there, you've done more than a few titles in these main events. How much of a pressure situation is that, just because of the prestige involved in, being a part of a main event?
Yeah, for sure. Because, as you have all these side events, right? Like, you have people winning, a couple here and there. And then you just kind of like, well, it comes down to always to the main, right? That's the one that there's a good amount of chunk of, dough up the top, a good prize pool, the prestige of it being a lot of players that you have to get through, and being able to take down a title like that, I think that, it legitimizes that you're standing in poker, right? You feel like, oh, I've won a main event. Because a lot of times that you ask a poker player, what is their dream? A lot of times that they reply you is, I would like to win a main event, and I think that it gives you the confidence to, in the future, do better in other events. But having those titles under your belt is a great feeling.
Richie, fair enough to say that winning a main event automatically gets you that, like Celina says, the legitimacy of being a champion. And I think a lot of players in the domestic space have, found fame and fortune also in the course of winning some of these main events.
Yeah, when we started playing poker, the moment you asked a poker player what they wanted to do, their end goal was to win the main event or win the WSOP. So such kind of events, such marquee events, sort of, absolutely agree with Celina, sort of legitimizes you as a player, and not to ignore the fact that there's so much money up top in these tournaments. They're not easy to win, obviously, but it's obviously one of those things that you want to achieve as part of your poker career. So among the marquee events that we've had at IOPC, I think this is the one that really caught everyone's eye. So the final table is set, and all of these guys are just arm's reach away from getting the big bucks.
And big bucks it is, because first place, as we've mentioned, 51 lakh rupees, almost 52 lakhs up top for the winner. And clearly there's going to be a very heated battle at the Fells no matter what the stack sizes are right now. Up top is, of course, Saurabh Jain, who's playing as Beast 555. He's got 17.7 million in chips. And Saurabh is one of those players who's been a regular at the Felts. He's cashed multiple times at Spartan Poker, the most recent one being at the Millionaire in December 20. This gentleman is from Kolkata and presently sits on 63 big blinds. Not a bad place to be, guys, as far as being a chip leader on such a massive final table is concerned. And 63 BVs in his stack, not bad at all, right?
Definitely. I think that, we're going to be able to see some good amount of play left in the final table. Unfortunately, we have a potato player on the table, but it's not the potato player.
It's not the potato we've been used to.
That we're used to. I mean, I was just thinking that maybe, out of all the commentary I do for the final table, it's just always going to be the potato player. I think I might be his lucky charm, actually. So looking forward to commentating on the main event. It's going to be a little bit different to the high rollers that I've commentated on. Like once you have a very huge mix of players. It's going to have a lot of interesting plays going on. They're essentially, I think a lot of them, I would say, not professional poker players. So like I've said in the past, that the recreational players, they've figured out certain moves themselves. They've figured out how to play the game, maybe not from the books, maybe not from coaching, maybe not from online videos, but just from hours of playing, right? And that's going to be interesting to see because, like I said, there is no right or wrong way of playing poker. There is optimal ways of playing poker. But, at the same time, what works for them? Sometimes there are times where, I could see a pot happening and they get 200-300 big blinds in and the person is getting so much value out of this hand that I, myself, could not do, And it'll be actually really interesting to see how these players maneuver on the final table.
And following that chip leader is someone who's from Delhi, the 33-year-old Yudhister Jaswal, who's playing as McFly. And as we've seen a little bit earlier in yesterday's play, Yudhister is one of those players who came in with 2 stacks, I believe. And then there was some sickness that happened with his ace-king running into aces. And despite that hit to his stack, he's still at 9.5 million in chips. This player from Delhi has had multiple wins on Spartan Poker, and he sits on a stack of 34 big blinds. Next up, in the top 3 now, we're looking at Laksh Pal Singh playing as Lucky Bhai. And Lucky Bhai has 9.2 million in chips. His best finish recently was the 3rd place in the WPT India online main event. And he's a player who's from Gurgaon, 26-year-old. He's sitting with 32 BBs on this particular final table. So far, I think, Richie, decent-sized stacks, at least for the top 3, although not the kind of gaps that we saw for instance, in the PLO high roller.
Yeah, it's going to be close. The stacks are very crucial, especially like we saw in the earlier tournaments. The mid stacks have to be really careful. But I was expecting a lot of newcomers, but I think I've heard all these players to be around the circuit. Yudhishthir, Laksh Pal Singh. These guys have been playing live as well. I've seen them making a couple of final tables before. And it's the top 3, being players who've been around the circuit. They have a couple of online wins and, people with relatively decent experience. It'll be fun to see if they really go for high variance spots or whether, they play true ICM, and that's going to add a little fun to the whole dynamic.
Next up in 4th chip position is Suresh Kolli playing as Poker Gambit. And Suresh has a stack of 8.2 million. He recently finished 3rd in Adda 52's Full House tournament for a sum of 8 lakh rupees. And this gentleman has been playing poker since just the past couple of years. And he's based out of Pune. Next up is a very interestingly named Kala Gato. And that's Anirudh Singhal for you, who's got 4.1 million in his stack. And this gentleman he's playing out of Ghaziabad. And there's not a lot of information about him online, but clearly he might just end up making a name for himself. Celina, I think this is the best stage for someone who's sort of looking to prove their credentials, so to speak. Winning a main event or even getting into the top 3 might just do that for your poker reputation, so to speak.
Oh, definitely. I think that, setting yourself up nicely with those chip stacks on the final table really gives you a good shot at it. That's also a lot of times why, a lot of players choose to play a higher variance game where they want to gamble it up and actually build those stacks to go into the final table. By building those stacks in the final table, you are not on the cusp of busting out early. You do not have to shove, your 10 big blind stack or so forth. You can actually have some play left. You can actually, we've seen in the past where players are able to maneuver in a particular way and, solidify themselves to those top 3 place finishes.
Right. And remember, folks, there's 5.77 lakhs, which is the min payout for any of these players. No matter where they finish, that's the sum they're definitely taking home. And going into the second half of the chip counts now with everyone's favorite, your favorite, my favorite, everyone's favorite vegetable. That's another form of the potato. This one is Avijit Jaiswal, who's playing as Evil Potato and a stack of 3.8 million in chips. This player is from Mumbai. He's got 13 big blinds in his stack, but we don't care about his stack. We just care that he's named the way he's named. And I'm not sure what it is, guys. Richard, any thoughts on why the potato is becoming quickly the favorite of Indian online players for some reason?
Shreyasha just made 2 final tables. I think that's reason enough for, that's quite a legitimate reason for you to have potato in your name. I don't know. We can have types of potatoes. We can just go crazy with this here. But yeah, it's definitely working. And I hope the potato stays around at the table long enough so that we can have more such fun
Spuddy moments. Yeah.
There you go.
Coming into the last 2 spots of this final table, very, very well-known name in Raman Gujral, playing as Tathagat, if I'm not wrong. And he's got a stack of 3.5 million in chips. Raman is, of course, one of the stalwarts of the Indian poker scene, so to speak. He's been around ever since the game started in India almost 12 years ago. So very, very interesting to see a name like that on this final table. He's cashed out a bunch of stuff in terms of online and live, whether it's winning the Moneymaker, whether it's becoming a Spartan Millionaire winner. He's got a lot of, and of course, a bunch of live wins in various international tournaments. So, representing the 40-plus club in that sense is Raman Gujral.
Raman used to be one of those players who you would probably fear when you're playing. He used to initially play only high-stakes cash, and he transitioned from like a corporate job into playing poker. So he's a prime example of how a good poker player will always stay around. He's evolved as a player. He started playing high stakes cash, and eventually when the games were not as good enough, he had to evolve into a tournament player. And look at how well he's done for himself. He's one of the OG products or awesome players of India, and he's just grown over time. And he's the man to watch at this table. I think he brings in the most experience.
And last but definitely not the least is another player with a very similar stack to Raman's with 12 big blinds is Anant Purohit playing as Prometheus. Anant Purohit, if in case you haven't seen our last broadcast, was also on the PLO high roller table. He's got so many finishes to his name, so many titles to his name. It's really not funny. And as Richie and I were talking just before this broadcast, Anant Purohit was not a very serious player from some of the things we've seen about him online. And he bricked a bunch of it, right, Richie? And then there was like almost a stellar year for him in 2019.
He's actually had quite a big downswing, and he's just worked on his game and just kept at it. And, it's just paid off in spades. And I think 2019 was the year that he just showed up and just won everything. And I think he won the Player of the Year at the IPC as well, because the final table is such a different dynamic. As a poker player, you play a bunch of tournaments, but the final table is not something you face every day. Mm-hmm. And the people who have been in this situation way more than the others have such a huge edge when you just take out the chip counts. But considering he's a little cuffed with his chip stack, yes, he's going to have to double up. But when you put him heads up, when you put him 3-way, 4-way, I think these players have a much bigger edge over the rest.
Well, we're just a few minutes away from the action, starting at this Crown main event final table. Now, besides the 50 lakhs up top for the winner, there's also a seat at the IOPC Masters table that's going the way of the Crown winner. And in case you don't know, the IOPC Masters table features winners from some marquee tournaments and a bunch of, including, of course, this Crown event, the leaderboard winner as well. And we've got that table that's set to happen on the 3rd of February. And it should be an action-packed final table because the best of the best from this IOPC edition is going to battle it out for a sweet prize, which is a Breitling customized watch, which has got, it's a customized chronograph, Avengers chronograph 43 watch. And this customized watch will also contain the word mastermind. Yes, the winner of the IOPC Masters table will be crowned the IOPC Mastermind of Jan 2021. And it's not just the poker players who have something to play for. You as a viewer can also win a ticket by answering our contest question. And the question is, guess the guarantee of the upcoming Final Table series, which is set to take place in March 2021. So that's your contest question. The Final Table series, yet another popular offering by Spartan Poker, is coming up in March. And we need you to guess the guarantee that's on offer across the FTS. Make sure that you send your answers with your Spartan username, as well as tagging 3 of your friends. And if you guess correctly and you are one of our lucky winners, then you will get a ticket into the Millionaire Day 1, which is worth 5,500 rupees. So we have many more contests that are lined up. So stay tuned to this live stream. And now that all that information is out of the way, let's raise the curtain and the drama across the virtual felts of SpartanPoker.com with this final table of the 3.5 crore guaranteed IOPC crown. Players, it's time to ready, set, gold.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, the players are ready and cards are all nice and warmed up. So we're going to get into the action very, very shortly here at this final table of the IOPC Crown Tournament, which the winner, of course, will take home a magnificent 50 plus lakh rupees. And here we go with the action at this table. I'd like to bring the attention of one particular player to my co-commentators here, Evil Potato. This is a running theme through this entire IOPC series. There's been potatoes here and there and everywhere, and they seem to be the name of choice as far as our players here are concerned. But let's talk about Lucky Bhai, who's picked up a nice ace-king suited to kick things off.
Yeah, amazing hand to pick up at this point. We see a 3-bet, which is very interesting. Jack 9, the hand of choice for Beast 555. Considerably large sizing. Celina, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think he wants to be called pre-flop in this case, so I think he might have opted for a larger raise there. But at the same time, I feel like he's just kind of like, because I would like to do this kind of 3-bet with maybe Jack 9 suited. It's just going to play post-flop a little bit better. You can, connect with flushes and so forth. But I think with his chip stack, he's kind of like saying, I'm going to be captain of the table and try to just let everybody know who the boss is really early on.
Well, that may have been the intent, but Beast 555, who is the chip leader at this table, had to let that one go when Lucky Bhai came over the top with that bet there. So a nice start for Lucky Bhai.
Yeah, Peter, Lucky Bhai is making his intent very clear. He is here to play. He did pick up a very good hand. Jack Queen offsuit, he's going for it. He is not going to be bossed around by the chip leader. Tatagat.
Everyone needs to watch out here.
The interesting thing about this table, Peter, is unlike the other streams, we have a few players which we don't know anything about. And I think that is a great sign. And I think it's testament to the fact that, we have such a huge field of players that we've gone through for us to actually get to the final 8. And we might just find a new new tournament winner who's going to be a complete unknown, and it's going to be one of the most prominent names in the circuit.
Yeah, we should certainly hope so. In fact, our other co-commentator, Sangeet Mohan Samo, had mentioned this before, and he's always been a proponent of someone new winning one of these big titles, just so that it propels the scene overall and for poker in the country. Celina, I think you'd also probably agree that it's better that someone who's not so regular at the podium finishes in these online or even live tournaments. I think it makes sense for someone new to sort of win and keep the flame going, so to speak.
Absolutely, because the way you see it is that if every time you have an event and only the professionals win, well, then the recreational players don't really want to get out there. They're like, what's the point, right? So now then, it's so good to see a no-name, player take it down, especially these main events, right? I think that the pool is so large that you have majority recreational players, and the chances are they're going to get deep and they are going to, make the final table and possibly take down a big title like that.
Well, and in keeping with the theme of what we just discussed, one of the absolute regular pros, if I can say, has just busted out from this final table. He was the short stack, was Anant Purohit, playing as Prometheus, his ace-9 eventually capitulating to the ace-10 hearts of Kalagato. I love that name. It sounds really nice. So Kalagato making some addition to his chip stack and eliminating Anant Purohit in 8th place, for which Anant takes home 5.77 lakh rupees. So a good payday for Anant Purohit there, playing as Prometheus. But once again, a case of always the bride, but never always the bridesmaid, I beg your pardon, but never the bride, at least in this one. So well played to Anant, and went down to 7.
Yeah, it was a super standard spot there where both stacks were pretty short, and Button shoved ace-10, and Big Blind happened to pick up ace-9 to make the call.
Well, I'm going to put this out there. I'm rooting for Evil Potato for obvious reasons. That has got me in. And, of course, Tathagat, who is one of the senior pros of the Indian circuit, which is Raman Gujral, in fact, who's playing here at this final table. One of the stalwarts of the scene. And, yes, repping the slightly older, old-school pros, at an online event like this. It would be a really great, prestigious moment for someone like that to take this particular title down of the crown.
Yeah, funny thing is, we were having this conversation, and Celina mentioned about the badges, and we see a table with very few badges. I think Tathagat and McFly are the only people sporting those badges, which I think is in line with what we are discussing, and I think there's a good chance that we might find a lesser famous pro who will take this down.
I think about 3 players from here are not necessarily, well, they may be serious hobbyists or semi-professional, but yeah, about 3 to 4 players at this final table for sure would be buying for that title. Everyone is buying for the title, of course, but there are some naked IDs out here without those badges. The M that you can see on Tathagat and the McFly stands for the Millionaire Tournament. Both these players have won one of those each. And McFly has one more, which is, of course, an IOPC title that he has laid claim to.
The chip difference also is quite large. I think the shorter stacks will really need to get something going, especially for the likes of Tathagat. Raman will want to get his stack in good and try to double up as soon as possible. So that he stands a good chance, because the chip leaders got a lot of chips, and I think the first 4 stacks are sitting pretty comfortably, and there's a good chance that the middling stacks will stay out of the way and let the shorties bust. Obviously, because even the pay jumps, for example, I think are very top heavy, and the last few players will definitely want to ladder up. And considering it's a lot of money at stake here, they will take all their decisions very carefully.
Yeah, I think it's a decision that's driving a lot of people to play the way they are. We mentioned this about Anant Purohit when we were talking about him at the PLO High Roller event. The fact that he's very, very ICM conscious, and it's not just him. It's a whole lot of these players who've been playing online for a long time now, and they're used to these sort of decision-making processes. And I fully expect people to be a little bit quiet, at least to begin with, just to see where they're at. And the shorter stacks should ideally wait for a couple of more bust outs if they possibly can. Not that Beast 555 is giving anyone an option here. He's
Why are we talking about
aggressively right there.
No, but I'd like to ask Celina this, that in such large field events, it's so tough to sort of make it to the final table. And once you get there, the fact that there's so much money up top does put a lot of pressure on the players. And what is the right way to sort of approach that? Do you approach it like any other tournament, or do you make considerable like changes, or just tweak your game a little bit to sort of put you in a better chance to sort of win it?
Well, I think that each player will adjust accordingly to, I guess, how much the prize pool means to them, right? I would say that it really depends on your bankroll. If you're like a player who's recreational and you're, don't play this very often, and this is a really nice chunk of prize pool for you towards your poker resume, then you want to try to ladder up, and you probably want to, get in there the top 3 or so forth. If you're a professional poker player, then maybe, you've had your share of wins and you've got like a nice bankroll behind you. Then I can see them taking a little more chances. I mean, the way that the Beast is playing, I'm looking at him going, wow, like this player is not afraid at all. I mean, like I believe he shoved 6-3 offsuit just there.
Yes.
To me, that's surprising, because even I wouldn't do that, because, I mean, the way I look at it is I would raise, fold, but I mean, like, what if Poker Gambit does pick up a hand? I mean, like, I don't think Poker Gambit is going to be folding, jacks, queens, kings, and aces there for sure. I mean, I can see him possibly folding ace, king, but like for Poker Gambit to double up and then Beast to fall down to half of his stack, that's going to be detrimental going forward for the Beast to win this title. So I do see it as a bit of a reckless play, but at the same time, some of the best players in tournament poker can have that recklessness in them that takes them very far.
Yeah, on the face of it, it looks really reckless. But I think one aspect of it is that Beast 555 knows that since there are so many short stacks at the table, Poker Gambit or Evil Potatoes are not going to go broke over any hand, and they're going to be folding a considerably large percent of their stack. I mean, I'm not advocating the 6-3 shove, but at the same time, it's not as crazy as it seems when you first look at it, I think. And while we say that,
the presses.
Yes, we're going to see some fireworks here.
Fireworks.
We've got a player with aces, and then we've got the Beast with pocket nines in the big blind, who's, like we said, can be unpredictably reckless.
Yeah, I mean, any raise here, and I almost feel like he's going to repeat that all-in move once more, and that is not going to make him happy once he sees what he's up against.
Definitely. This is one hand that I do not see any players on this table folding to the Beast.
Love it. Love these usernames. They're just helping the cause of us commentators. So, well done, guys.
That being said, I have seen a player fold pocket aces pre-flop. This was in the Aussie Millions main event. It was a 4-bet, and he folded. And his excuse was, if I bust right now and go home, my wife would kill me.
That's quite legitimate.
Yes. And he was given some penalty for that. Like, I believe he had to sit out for 2 rounds or something.
Right.
Well, the pocket aces of Kalagato won that hand, but not in the way that we would have expected. Quad queens, and the ace ends up being a kicker. Man, I mean, I'm sure he's happy he's won the pot, but your aces turning into a kicker is probably not the most ideal way to win that. But hey, I'm sure he's going to take that 13.4 million stack, I believe.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And that hand sort of shifted the whole chip dynamic right now. The top 4 stacks have got like close to 1 million, and then the shorter stacks, Evil Potato, Tathagat, these guys are really struggling to hang around there. Evil Potato maybe taking the spot, King High on the big blind, and he chooses to fold. We really want the Potato to stay, so I'm okay with that.
Yes. More chips for us to comment on, Potato and otherwise. Well, here's an interesting hand that Kalagato's picked up, Ace Jack offsuit. And I think he's going to get some action from McFly. And Lucky Bhai, if he's feeling like ruffling some feathers here.
Yeah, Lucky Bhai definitely might want to call. Yeah, I mean, maybe not.
It's a fairly pricey bet, so I'm guessing he might just let this one go.
Ooh.
Clearly, I have no idea what I'm talking about. But Lucky Bhai has decided. Yeah. I think he's just playing off of the fact.
Yeah, I think 3-betting here is way better than calling, because he's got Evil Potato behind him, and he doesn't want to give him like an easy shove spot.
That raise was actually really good for McFly, because I'm guessing if it wasn't for Lucky Bhai's raise, he'd be in this hand going up against that Ace Jack.
Right.
Kalagato, what are you ever going to do?
Now, Kalagato here might be thinking, because he's a new chip lead on the table, he might be raising a little bit wider, and especially being under the gun position, which is one of the player's favorite position to raise these days, that he's getting played back at. But he lets it go just to be on the safe side. It's very hard to play that hand out of position. I mean, like, he can consider 4-betting, but, that's more of a high variance play there.
Plus, there was a jack in the hand. Never a nice thing to look at, more often than not. But yeah, Lucky Bhai's raise there has claimed that pot for himself. So yeah, not a bad way to go.
I really want to know the backstory of why you hate Jack so much.
I mean, just seeing that, there's this really popular video on YouTube that from every angle possible, that guy's jacks get hammered in every situation, no matter what. He's leading, he's behind, it doesn't matter. It's just 11 minutes of mayhem with pocket jacks. So, and just as I speak about pocket jacks, well, there we go. But it's Lucky Bhai. He's done some crazy stuff before this, so this might just work out in his favor.
So it's good to see Evil Potato pick up some chips in the previous hand. He managed to double up versus Kalagato.
Okay, now.
Yeah, the Jacks gets an easy walk. Tathagat is struggling to maintain his chip stack. He's not got absolutely, like, he has nothing to work with up till now. And we might see a all-in from him this hand if it gets folded around to him. Small blind, King 6 suited. He's got about 8 blinds, and I think he has to go with it here.
Yep, and Richie has called that one just about right.
Yeah, I can actually see a call here with the King 8.
It's a reasonable call, I think. Quite standard, Celina, don't you think?
It is, because the opponent actually has less than 10 big blinds, and usually King 8 in this spot is actually ahead of your player's shoving range. Pretty much the player is forced to shove any two cards right there. If he knows what he's supposed to do, but I actually see that it was actually the player gave up on that, and from that fold, I can actually say that this is a more recreational player, knowing that he probably thinks that the King 8 is not a good hand to call there with, even though majority of the time he's actually way ahead of the player.
Yeah. McFly now with the Ace 4 facing a raise from Tathagat. Again, a very standard call here. Let's see what McFly does.
Yeah, I can actually see McFly making a call here. With the badges and all, I think that's a giveaway.
We'll give him some credit.
Oh, he gets another fold. Oh, that is surprising.
So Raman Gujral getting some free chips. He would definitely love that. Not having to risk his whole stack. Twice lucky, and now he's still got about 13 big blinds, but a little more than before.
Yeah,
At
it'll
least
really
in
remember.
last a round or two. Lucky Bhai again with the King 5. Maybe a raise here. It's a good spot for him to raise.
Now let's see what the beast does here. With his stack at the moment, he can't be as reckless as he was earlier on.
Right.
So yeah, let's see what he opts to do here.
Beast has been very aggressive of what we've seen, and we might see a rejam from him the way he's been playing. And it's not terrible. It's not a terrible spot to rejam, is it?
No, it's not. But at the same time, it is a much higher variance play than you would otherwise choose. We are looking at the table, and he does have 3 other players with less chips than him. And like you guys said, that the price pool is very top heavy. It is a spot that you want to, one of those cases where you're like, can I find a better spot? And in this instance, the answer would be yes. Now we actually see pocket sixes here by Caligado. Oh, and he actually chooses to fold. That's actually quite interesting because a lot of players would ask me, how do you play pocket pairs in early position? That's actually usually one of the most common questions. I think some players believe that, sometimes they're link core raise, sometimes they, outwardly raise themselves. I'm actually quite surprised to actually see pocket sixes getting folded right there in that spot, especially with his stack, which is, 30 big blinds, which is plenty of room to play.
Right.
I thought he would see a flop with that, but he actually opted to be on the tighter end and just choose to fold. I don't blame the player for doing that. Some players feel more comfortable, the sixes are hard to play, right? The majority of times you see a flop, there could be 2 overcards to your pair. Best case scenario, you're going to hit the 6 and, it's great. But majority of the time, that's not going to happen. And it is a hand that's pretty hard to play out of position.
Celina, I think there's somebody else instead of Peter on the screen. Peter, is that you look a little different?
I think he just shaved.
Yeah, so it's with me only. I just had to get ready for some time, So basically, the way sweet potato, evil potato is playing, really, it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. I can see the game over there, and what he's trying to do, I can completely understand. This happens after a long years of marriage. These things do happen. Yeah,
but this is not Peter, is it? Who is it?
This is Peter. Oh, sorry, I'm his younger brother, Repeater.
So
Peter,
basically, why are you looking so different? Did you change the lighting? Did you shave?
I just had a little bit of a break, and I managed to shave really quickly nowadays. So I'm known as the fastest shaver on the earth. So I always say, God save the country. So that
Anyway, let me ask you something, Peter. So the evil potato. Do you think he stands a chance? I mean, going by the name.
Yeah, remember one thing. People are trying to lose weight. It is really evil potato for them. They should not be eating potatoes. They should try and avoid to eat lesser potatoes, then. So evil potato, like the name says, he's quite evil. And I think his game is also quite devious. I can see that he's thinking, but I don't know what he's thinking. That's not for me to say. But I would like to, at this point, get Sachin inside this whole commentary box. 1 second, please.
Absolutely.
Sachin, come in, Sachin. Oh, it's very simple.
Ayla, yeah, definitely the team batting first will win.
Sachin, but क्या strategy use करनी चाहिए?
देखिए, strategy, you have to be very fit for this game. It's not. It's a sport. It's not to be taken lightly just because people are sitting around. You always use your fingers a lot. So so I got a great exercise for you all. So this is the little finger. It goes 1, 2, 1, 2. The next finger goes 1, 2, 1, 2. Leave the third one. 1, 2, 1, 2, and then thumbs up. You win. So if you exercise your fingers very well, it is definitely a great strategy, and the boys played very well.
And look at this hand that is developing. We have kings on the big blind who shoved into the queen's easy call and a queen on the floor.
Oh
Wow.
my goodness. And that is one of the only players that cover him on this table.
Literally. So Lucky Bhai is now the astounding chip leader with 2.7 million. And we have another queens on the dealer button with Poker Gambit. Sachin, इनके पास queens है. इनको क्या करना चाहिए?
देखिए, मुझे भी कंगना रनौत क्वीन में बहुत अच्छा काम किया उन्होंने, एंड डेफिनेटली इट्स बहुत ही अच्छी बात है कि क्वीन इनके हाथ में है. और वैसे अगर हाथ आपका तगड़ा है तो आपको सनी देओल जैसा बनना चाहिए.
ये 2.5 किलो का हाथ है पापा, ऐसे मारूंगा ना तो उठ जाओगे, ऐसे होना चाहिए. और लगता है इसे 2 क्वीन के साथ पोकर गैम्बिट ने बहुत बढ़िया हाथ खेला. 2.5 किलो का नहीं, 2.5 करोड़ तो हो सकता है. Yeah.
So yeah, easy fold for Tathagat. He's the shortest stack at the table. So Sachin से हमने fitness tips ले लिए है, and Sunny Deol has told us about the massive prize pool that we're playing for. So I'll take this opportunity to welcome our celebrity commentators, Mr. Suresh Menon, who is here to entertain us.
Yes, and I understand the game very well. And this is the table. There are a lot of people sitting around it, and they are playing. It's a sport which is catching up very well, and it is all brain calculations. So if your calculations are not good, then you can have gambit, you can have potato. Everybody is the beast. Is the one who I'm supporting for the long time. And the Beast is not being beastly right now. He's being a sweet fellow. But I think Beast should really take up the challenge and, start drafting a little bit maybe. But it's difficult. Somebody people are Indian people. I say either खेल लेंगे तो बराबर से खेल लेंगे, नहीं तो नहीं खेल लेगा.
And the Beast being a little beastly, going for the bet on.
Now we're seeing here, it's folded to the small blind and big. And we're seeing a flop here with Jack 4 suited versus Ace 6. Now, big blind here has top pair plus a flush draw, which is a pretty good hand in this spot, especially versus small big blind positions.
And the guy in the small blind is looking down at a inside straight draw. It's pretty scary board, bro. Pretty 50 lakh का फर्स्ट प्लेस है. आपके लिए आप क्या एडवाइस देना चाहोगे ये सारे प्लेयर्स को?
देखिए, मैं सैफ अली खान से बात कर रहा था अभी थोड़ी देर पहले, और उन्होंने एक ही बात कहा कि जब भी आप खेल रहे हो तो एकदम दिमाग लगा के खेलना चाहिए, और हमेशा एक चीज याद रखना चाहिए. शुड रिमेंबर वन थिंग. सैफ बोल रहा था, मैंने.
And all the players are playing pretty safe at the moment.
Yeah. I can see that. But I want to know, what if one guy could read somebody else's mind? Samne se. What if you become a mind reader? Does that work?
I think Celina will be the best person to answer. She is a professional poker player who plays a lot of live tournaments, at least till the pre-COVID times. What advice would you like to give us, Celina, about reading people's minds?
Well, I think mind reading would work quite well in a live situation if you're sitting on the table with everyone. But online, I don't know, that might be a little bit difficult.
Yeah, online is so difficult, right now. But I can read people's mind I can read Celina's mind right now, what's going on. She's only thinking, who the hell is this guy with a wig?
I'm thinking, okay, my question to you, sir, is, if you were on the table, what would your username be?
Oh, my name. It would have been actually simple because I'm a great Sachin Tendulkar fan. It would have been Go Get It.
Oh, I like that one. It's like, just do it.
Yes, absolutely.
Very catchy.
See, so I'll make sure that one day I'll be sitting on this table with the actual table, and hopefully I win a tournament, because that would be great. This is a great sport, and I can see that a lot of great interest has been taken, and I can see my interest in this game also. You ask me any questions, Richie, please go ahead, and I'm good to answer you. Anything you ask me.
Sir, what is your strategy when you play? Like,
I keep on staring at the opponents. I just make big eyes and I keep on staring at them like this. And sometimes I pretend to sleep so I can snore with my eyes open. That's my greatest strength. So I can do this. So they think I'm sleeping and I may not play a hand properly. And most of the times when people, comedian like me, sits on a table, they think he won't know anything much. Lekin jab main bazi khelta hu, I calculate very well and I know my basics. So I know mostly I win. But that is mostly with my children. When they are trying their hand props. The others just drive me off the table because they want to play a serious game, and it is a serious game. And right now I think Celina is asking me to shut up, so I'll keep quiet for some time. And then
I don't think I can play on a table where you are around because my jaw is hurting right now. So yeah, no way.
So I think it would be great to just make faces on the table and just relax everybody's tension. So maybe just somebody should just start doing something weird. Is it allowed, by the way, Celina? Let me ask. Can somebody sit on a table, poker table, and actually make funny faces, and not at anybody in particular, but generally make funny faces to draw people's attention away? Is that possible?
It is. Now, if you're in the hand, I would say it may not be the greatest sportsman-like. Yes. The sportsmanship is a word I'm choosing to use here. If you're not in the hand and if there's no serious putt going on, by all means, make all the faces you want. They've had World Series tournament where they trained a chimpanzee to actually play on the table. Whoa. Right. Yeah. So they've had things in the past to bring more fun into the game. But if you're in the hand and you've got all in and your opponent's staring you down, well, I don't know about making them faces at that point. It might work to your advantage. That's for sure. It might they might see that you're very comfortable and decide to make a call or fold it. Depending on how nervous you look at the time. Yeah.
Oh, so I can't be sitting like this.
Well, you might be able to if you hold your face like that and then tell the people on the table that's just how your face looks, and they might be okay with that. but I would love one day to play on the poker table with you. It would just be so much fun. It would be.
I hope it happens soon.
Yes. I'm looking to visit Goa and play one of these tournaments at some point because I'm told I can't actually play online, and I was quite disappointed.
So maybe very soon it will happen. I'll make it happen for sure.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Actually, did you see that, Richie? Poker Gambit just folded an ace hand there, just instead of shoving, he chose. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've also lost Raman Gujral in sixth place. Tatagat has been busted from this tournament. One of the best players coming into this tournament, but he did not have a very big stack and he could not really get anything going. He picked up 2 small paws, but nothing after that, and he is sixth place finisher at the table. Poker Gambit looking down at pocket jacks and an all-in from Evil Potato. He is definitely going all-in.
Yeah, it's a really good spot here for Poker Gambit because even though he might be worried about ICM, the player that has shoved all in is actually Evil Potato with less chips than him. But unfortunately, Evil Potato strikes again.
The potato prevails.
Yeah, he's managed to score another double up right there to stay in the game.
Yeah, I think he's got the commentator's blessing in this case and not the curse, and he's hanging around, and he is now got a decent amount of chips, a little less than 10 blinds though. Raman Gujral did finish in the 6th place, and he has won 9.56 lakhs for his effort, and very well played by Raman Gujral. Unfortunately, he is a 6th place finisher. Suresh ji, Lucky Bhai is the chip leader. सबसे ज़्यादा chips हैं इनके पास. What do you think he should do now?
I think he should not be chip. He should be a chip of the shoulder right now, and he should try and थोड़ा और देना चाहिए. सब कुछ अपने पास नहीं रखना चाहिए. बांटो.
थोड़ा बांटो.
दे दो. थोड़ा बांटना चाहिए. अगर हो सके तो please send him my bank details. He can put some into my account also. Lucky Bhai will be really if he makes it, or if he donates to me. So I'm always looking for handouts. I'm a very shameless fellow that way.
So while we say that, we've lost our 5th place finisher.
Yeah, I feel like Evil Potato can see into the future, with the eye of the potato.
Yeah, he's been hanging around and he's chipping up slowly, and hopefully he'll be be a contender for the top 3. Evil Potato again looking down at ace 3, a good spot for him to jam here with 15 big blinds.
Yeah, being on the button here helps a lot.
I think it would be very interesting to see a proper Hindi commentary, that hockey wala commentary going in this, no?
How would
ace और 3 के साथ खेल रहे हैं, मैकफ्लाई 3 और 4 के साथ, और Evil Potato सामने पड़े हैं, ace और 3 के साथ 3 और 4, 3 और 4, Lucky Bhai वहां पर, और ये अंदर आ गया है, सबको डाल रहा है मैकफ्लाई, और ये कुछ तो हुआ, लेकिन अभी आगे रिची बताएगा.
The 5th place finisher has got 11 lakhs for his efforts, 11.55 actually. Suresh Kolli, the Poker Gambit, lost 2 pots back to back to the Evil Potato, and he'll be a 5th place finisher for 11.55 lakhs. The last 4 all going to be playing for the top prize of 52 lakhs. Not to forget that they are going to be playing for the crown, which is a very unique giveaway and gift for the 1st place finisher. Sir, ये crown पहनने में काफी मजा आएगा जीतने के बाद tournament.
Yes, basically, जब जैसे crown पहनते हैं, immediately they'll start. I would like to thank my parents. I would like to thank my grandmother, and also the watchman who's standing outside the door. And I would contribute a lot for people, and I wanted to help people. I'll clean gutters. Because when you wear crown, normally it's in a beauty contest or Miss Universe contest. So, but I'm sure the crown, I heard about it and I have seen, I had a look at it. It looks very, very interesting. I really wish I could wear the crown. So, but since I can't wear the crown, I'm watching the crown on an OTT platforms.
So the wheels now with the best hand, King Queen of, he's got the top pair. Lucky Bhai does not do anything to take away the hand.
So Richie won. Sorry, Celina. Yes.
Oh no! Please go ahead.
I just want to ask Richie, how would you translate all these names into Hindi?
I think
Khokhar potato. Janwar. नहीं, खोखर आलू. Yeah.
Lucky Bhai will be what? Naseeb Pala.
Lucky, हाँ. Lucky Bhai. Naseeb wala bhai. Naseeb Bhai. McFly will be Chota Makki. Beast will be Janwar. Evil Potato will be Khokhar Aloo.
Khokhar Aloo.
उसका भी शब्द है. I can't use that. It would be slightly cheaper to use that word. So Khokhar Aloo. Evil Potato. I like the name though. It can be a title for a villain in a Bollywood film. Evil Potato.
The funny thing is we've been having some potato or the other making the final table for almost half of our streams, if not more. So the potato is very famous at this IOPC.
Right now, what would there are 4 people on the table right now. What would be going on in their minds? How are they going to strategize this? I'm asking this purely in point of a layman's point of view. Celina.
Well, they're kind of starting to count the kind of money that they're going to be cashing for because what are they guaranteed now, Richie?
We're guaranteed a little close to 17 lakhs. And the first place is 50 lakhs, 52 lakhs.
Wow,
so
that's
quite a lot of difference. Yeah.
Not bad for 2 days of work?
Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. I feel like crying. They don't pay commentators well, I believe.
The interesting hand developing here. We have Lucky Bhai with the big raise, raise, and McFly goes all in. Lucky Bhai covers him, looking down at the ace deuce offsuit. क्या Lucky Bhai lucky होंगे? And he chooses to fold.
अरे
McFly picking up some hands here, especially four-handed. It looks like he's being really aggressive, but it's one of those cases where he actually has the hands to do it with.
Yes, he is picking up a lot of hands, and Evil Potato is like the shortest stack, and probably that's the reason that Lucky Bhai, even though he's a chip leader, he's not really playing aggressively. He's waiting for his chance. He did not pick up many hands, and McFly is on a heater. He's got pocket jacks again. With the raise, Beast has something to play with, and he goes to the raise. Evil Potato is just going to fold. McFly will win. Yeah, it looks like it.
This is my prediction. What a smart guy I've become suddenly.
So McFly decides to shovel in here, and I can see Beast letting go of his pocket fives.
Oh, I was right?
You were absolutely right.
Oh, so now I've become an expert already. So, आप देख सकते हैं Evil Potato 10 और 3 के साथ Beast फोल्ड कर दिया. खेलने से पहले फोल्ड कर दिया. खेलना चाहिए, डरना नहीं चाहिए. डर के सामने जीत होती है. हार कर जीतने वाले को बाजीगर कहते हैं. लकी है, सबने फोल्ड कर दिया. If they have to fold like that, they may as well as fold clothes in the house.
Yeah, Evil Potato not getting too much to play with. Lucky Bhai is our chip leader. He's almost got like almost twice the chips that McFly and Beast have. McFly and Beast should just chill right now, right? Celina, they should not take too many like risky spots.
Yeah, they shouldn't. But at the same time, though, because the chip leader is playing relatively safe and he's not really picking at the pots a lot, like this is the difference between a main event final table compared to the super high roller and the high roller we've seen in the past, where, do you remember Potato Player kept putting the pressure on when he was chip leader. He did not want to give up those small pots to anybody, and that secured, his stack going into three-handed and final heads up and so forth. In this spot, Lucky Bai here is not picking up those small to medium pots as much, and McFly might see this as an opportunity to actually be the more aggressive player on this table and actually try to pick up those small, medium pots instead. And that actually could propel his way up to possibly roughly the same stack as the chip leader.
Yeah. So, Reggie, you've been, to these live events, and I think the first time I met you was at the Indian Poker Championship in Goa. What is it like for you when you go for these tournaments, and how different is it that you're doing it online now for a change?
I must say that it was fun to be live. Right now, it's because I can't see them. I'm just assuming what the expressions are going to be, and I can see the cards, of course. That doesn't ज़्यादा फर्क नहीं पड़ता. But I think there's more fun in live for sure, because I can see the animated expressions of the poker players after they win. Till they're winning, they're all like ice cold. They're staring down. I had the opportunity of sitting on one table with real professionals, and I swear that this guy was staring me down. He had worn dark glasses, and I asked somebody, "Is dark glasses allowed?" So they said, "No, it's allowed as long as he's not peeking into your cards." So, but and I couldn't crack any jokes over there because they were so serious. I tried to crack one, but I realized it was not that day for cracking any jokes, especially married jokes. So I kept quiet. But but the ambience was really wonderful, and but this is so much of fun too. With all of you all being here and me getting a chance to meet Celina.
Thank you. And you get to make all the faces you want.
Yeah, without anybody looking at me. One guy, I thought he was really upset with me because later on we went to the bathroom together, and I had a scary moment, so he was staring at me. So I ran out from there quickly before he changed his intention, maybe whack me or something like that. Not really, but these guys, it's really amazing to see how this sport has picked up in our country, and I was privy to some live tournaments earlier. And now it's nice to see this tournament, this sport coming to our country, and so many people taking great interest. And it's all about skills, it's all about technique, it's all about intelligence. And if you want to gamble like me, I would suggest do not try this tour.
On that note, we go back to the game. Lucky Bhai picking up a hand after quite a hiatus. He's got Jack Queen off. In the hijack, Evil Potato, the shortest stack, looking down at nothing to play with, folds there. The chip lead is going to play a very crucial part in this game, since Evil Potato doesn't have much to play with. Beast has gone really quiet, Celina. He's not been in action at all. And while I say that, he does pick up a very playable hand, and he makes a larger than usual raise. Is it because of Evil Potato, Celina?
Well, I think in this spot, I think he's definitely going to call a shove from Evil Potato. The raise itself, yes, it's a little bit on the larger side, but at the same time, these being more recreational players, I can see them raise anywhere between like 2.5 up to 3, even sometimes 4 big blinds. That's actually not that unusual to see. I would actually still like a 2.2 raise here. Nonetheless, it's just a very standard raise. I know that there are some players who also change their raise size depending on the hand strength as well, and that is giving away a bit of information, especially for players who are very observant. So, if the guys out there are listening, maybe keep your raise size roughly exactly the same, so that you play it this exactly the same if you've got aces, as opposed to a hand like pocket deuces.
Yeah, that's some advice to all you budding poker players out there. Keep your raise size, balance your range so that, it's not really obvious what kind of hand you have. Beast going all in here with the 10 pair. Lucky Bhai also has a 10.
Yeah, what's interesting is that both players hit the 10 on the river, which actually makes 2 pairs on the board, and it's actually the highest pair on the board as well for them to hit. A little bit unfortunate for Lucky Bhai there, but him being a really, I mean, I think he has been more of a safe player. He could possibly, passive. He could possibly, let go of this hand. I don't think he's got to make a hero call here. His opponent very well could have hands like Jack 10, Queen 10, King 10, so forth. That's going to outkick him with the pair. So, I can actually see him making a fold here.
Very good fold.
Yeah, that being said, I like raising different sizes depending on the position and against what type of opponents that you have, rather than the hand strength. I think because, I guess it's just like the way that most players play these days is just very depending on players and positions on the table.
And Lucky Bhai, again, picking up a playable hand, goes for a very big raise, Sureshji. Very aggressive. He's playing after you mentioned that Lucky Bhai could be giving chips away.
Yeah, him being out of position there, he decided to go for a bigger raise. I've seen this kind of sizing from the small big blind these days. They actually sometimes go 3 to 4x. A guy raising in late position. So it's actually not that surprising to see, but it's usually just kind of saying that if you want to see post flop with me, you just have to pay for it. And, it's a little bit dear to go post flop because them being out of position, it's not a position they want to play in, so that they usually tend to go a little bit bigger.
One important question I had. Do they have a timer before they play? They do?
They do. So there's a limited amount of time that you can take, and then once the time gets over, you have a time bank. So you have to make a decision really fast, and when there's a time bank is about 60 seconds, and in case you want to take a decision, you can use your time bank, but then the time bank doesn't get refreshed, so you got to use your time very carefully.
I think this round should go to Evil Potato. 2 रानियों के साथ या खूबसूरती के साथ खेल रहा है. दूसरे दोनों के पास एक राजा है और एक रानी है, लेकिन Evil Potato के पास 2 queens. Women power. Come on. Win this for us, Evil Potato. The vegetables needs answers. We need to.
The Evil Potato does pick up pocket queens, and he is all in. Lucky Bhai with the King Queen, and Beast now facing a raise with King 8. Not good enough. He's gonna fold. I think if Beast doesn't come in, the King Queen might be in a position to sort of play that hand.
Yeah, I think that the Beast actually saved Lucky Bhai from losing some chips there.
Getting lucky. Evil Potato again with pocket jacks. Evil Potato के पास काफी अच्छे hands आ रहे हैं, सुरेश जी. You have given him the good luck.
Yes. I think he is going to be a very fit person after this game. Financially, for sure. And there he goes off again. Raising. Come on, Evil Potato. I'm supporting you. Come on. Can you hear me? No. But no, there's my. Oh, see, there he goes. I'm cheering for him. Should I start dancing around like a cheerleader also now?
Wow.
Wow. This is 3 straight pairs he has got, huh?
Wow, whatever you're doing for him, it's working, and he's got pocket kings making the race, and this time Beast has a hand. Celina, I think they're going to stack off here.
Yeah, 4-handed pocket knights versus kings. These are really great hands. I definitely see Beast losing a stack of chips here, and like we said, he goes all in. My goodness.
Wow,
we have seen Evil Potato a full double up here. And actually busting out. Oh, the Beast has just a chip in a chair left. A chip in a chair.
Chip in a chair.
Yes. And wow. Evil Potato has become the chip leader on this table. All that talk about the potatoes, huh?
Yeah.
Never make fun of the aloo. Potato in Hindi is aloo.
Aloo. I actually had a lot of potatoes today. All right, we see him busting up Beast finally. It's one of those instances where I felt like the Beast were literally like, oh my God, I've got this nemesis on my table. And he just always have me outpicked. You know, I just can't win against him. And, you know, that is Evil Potato for him.
Yeah, Saurabh Jain, Beast 555 is fourth place finisher, and he gets a payday of 14 lakhs. So, yeah, well played. He was the chip leader. He was pretty aggressive when he was playing. Do you think he was kind of reckless, Celina?
I think he was definitely trying to be the table captain very early on. And then when it kind of didn't really work out for him and he did lose some chips, he did slow down a bit. Like, I didn't think that he played, you know, reckless after that. The pocket nine shove in that spot is like pretty standard. I think that, you know, it's just super unfortunate that he just kept running into better hands that Evil Potato was holding. And four-handed, you know, the ranges all changed so much, right? Like with pocket nines, if it's a full ring game, then you can fold pocket nines really easily. But now you're down to four-handed, and when you have, you know, a certain amount of big blinds, it's just a hand that you just can't get away from. And that just happened to be the case. And the four of the Beast that we see here.
Lucky Bhai with the straight betting into a pot of 2 million. Evil Potato is going to get away. He has nothing to play with. And yeah, Lucky Bhai getting lucky. The top two stacks very close to each other. Sureshji, do you have a favorite? Let me guess.
I'll go with Evil Potato because I look like a potato myself. So I think I'll go with So McFly is still there. Still limits. Okay. McFly is still, and he's got do chakke. He's got actual Kamla Kamla.
Yeah, very bad board for the pocket sixes. And Evil Potato in the lead here. Might check for pot control. But it's a good board to bet, isn't it, for the pre-flop raiser? Or do you think short-handed you'd want to go for pot control, Celina?
Yeah, I think that I'm definitely going for pot control. It's just smarter, you know, with the price pool like this, is just kind of to just small ball as much as you can. You know, obviously it's going to get to a point where inevitable, no, the stack's going to go in. But with mediocre holdings where, you know, a lot of times that you're hitting bottom pair, second pair, so forth, there's no need to build a big pot. I can see, you know, at least one street to two street of just checking back. Especially when you have position, you know, you can really dictate how big the pot gets.
And we have Sachin back.
Yes, I just come here to give a very special message. Now, since the game is becoming very heated up, it's going to be a very close, tight game, last over the game match. And I would like to call upon Peter once again, who is going to take you till the end of the game. And I need to retire hurt right now. Thank you so much, Celina. And the only hand that I would like to hold is of Celina. Nothing else. Thank you very much.
Three-handed now. The Evil Potato has made a supreme comeback. He is the chip leader at this table now. Where is your money, Celina? Do you still are favoring the potato?
Yes, I have to take the potato. I think on 2 streams so far, potato player has won both. For some reason, there is a player 3 left. It's called Evil Potato with the chip lead. How can I say otherwise?
Yeah, so the potato is definitely the player of choice in this commentary booth.
Well, really, there's been a lot of action since I've been off. And by the way, production team, I mean, just because I have no hair, that means you substitute me with someone else who's, I mean, come on, man. This is not cool. I just stepped away for like a few minutes. It's not happening. Who said life and poker is fair? Well, clearly there's been some action going down here. And Evil Potato, yay for the potato, is definitely looking at running to the finish line at the end of this. But Lucky Bhai with his dominating stack, in fact, right now, is not going to let that go just easy.
Yeah, Evil Potato and Lucky Bhai don't have too much between them. But what I'd like to really take a second and look at is that McFly hasn't taken any like high variance spots, and he's just laddered through this table. He had a pretty big stack. He did get a few hands in the middle, and he played them aggressively. But at the same time, he's never put himself in like a very high variance, very like a large pot. And I think that is one of the things to take note and probably learn from. That you can get into the later stages of a tournament without really going for anything like Beast took various spots which makes sense, but then at the same time you don't want to give away too much of equity for winning the tournament, and I think McFly has done that beautifully.
Yeah, he's really good at maintaining his stack, and he's pretty much shown that he's done this entire final table, and this has pretty much guaranteed his standing in the top three.
Yeah, it was quite interesting to see two players at the same table, different approaches to how they wanted to be at this final table, and clearly smooth sailing without ruffling the feathers too much has been Marty McFly, of course. I just fell into that trap totally on my own. That's how old I am for the younger viewers who probably have no clue what that means. But yeah, Queen Jack for McFly, and I think nice to get there into that top 3, top 4 without getting too badly dented. And just for our viewers, we're going to introduce one more contest that we're going to have right now, which is about the upcoming UVS, the Ultimate Value Series, which is going to take place starting the 8th of February. And we want you to guess what the guaranteed prize money for that UVS is going to be. So get your answers in, tag 3 of your friends, and mention your Spartan Poker ID along with your answer, of course. And if you are one of the lucky winners, then you will get a ticket worth 3,300 rupees into tomorrow evening's Mega Stack tournament. So make sure you get your answers and get your answers in, and we will announce a winner by the end of the stream.
Again, we've seen McFly done something very, very beautifully. He's got into a position where he could bluff. He took the spot and he's chipped up. McFly is displaying some great signs, and I think he, if he doesn't do any major mistakes, I think there's a good chance that he might make it to the top 2 or even ship this tournament.
Yeah, he's got a great understanding of, positions, what kind of ranges they can represent. The hand that we saw just there, he was the big blind, and, he decided to bluff the river with Queen High. And actually, Evil Potato actually had him beat with the King High, but could actually make the call because the board actually hits the big blind's range much better. And, we actually saw McFly just chip up nicely there.
And for viewers who are just tuning in, we've got now the final 3 of this table, which is the IOPC Crown Tournament. 51 lakhs up top for the winner. And we've got Evil Potato, that's Avijit Jaiswal. He's playing against Yudhister Jaswal, who's playing as Marty McFly. And of course, Lucky Bhai, Laksh Pal Singh, is the chip leader right now.
And going back to the UVS question that you asked, I think it's an amazing series that is coming up. Celina Ultimate Value Series is what Peter is talking about, and is this whole series of really small buy-in tournaments with big prize pools, and I think that is one addition to the whole Spartan bouquet, which is very interesting, and I think it's gonna do really well, and people are gonna really respond to it. It's a great spot to play these big value tournaments for small buy-ins, and I think I will definitely play this UVS.
Yeah, those tournaments are really fun. I think they're great bankroll builders for a lot of people, and it gives you great practice. Just in the future, if you want to play a live poker tournament or a bigger series online, just put in those hours in, just a lot of practice. If you actually feel like you can maneuver around those players really well and you outplay them easily and you feel like your actually skill level is way above them, then it's definitely time to step it up and play with the big boys. Maybe try out a satellite for some high roller here and there and stuff, because that is actually one way to actually start to play bigger tournaments that is actually not within your bankroll, is to, play those satellites or win smaller tournaments, which will give you the bankroll to actually enter the bigger tournaments.
Yeah, absolutely. And Peter, we've always we've done quite a bit of commentary together, and every time we do it, I think the thing to note is that the prize pools keep getting bigger, and we always seem to be crushing those prize pools as far as IPC or the IOPC is concerned. 28 crores was the prize pool for this IOPC, and we are at 33.9. That's ridiculous. I mean, that's a lot of money, and to be able to crush a guarantee which is already so massive is a superb achievement. I think.
Well, I think the sheer variety of tournaments. There's 118 tournaments in this IOPC schedule, so certainly a lot to play for. And going back to what Celina mentioned earlier about the Ultimate Value series, I totally agree that it's like a practice sort of a series that you can look at, a stepping stone to something bigger. Maybe your bankroll doesn't really afford you to play the big events like, let's say, the high rollers or the main events of these kind of series like the IOPC. But certainly with the UVS, not only can you build a bankroll, but you can take a shot at not only bettering your skills, but also stepping into some of the bigger series that generally happen on Spartan Poker.
Yeah, the smallest tournament starting at 110 rupees. That's $1.50, Celina. So that's as little as 110 rupees is what the tournaments are there to play for. And I think Feb is going to be a pretty busy month. There's a lot happening even after such a amazing end to Jan for all the poker players out there.
Is it also a re-entry and rebuy tournament?
Yes, there are re-entries allowed in many of the tournaments that are in that.
And it's unlimited?
For a short period of time, yes.
Okay, so you could be in for like 100 in $1 tournament, right?
That's happening.
And you think we are crazy.
Lucky wise,
I think that the players on a table should just agree to go all in blind every single hand until the rebuy period is over to really build a stack on that table.
No, let's not give ideas.
That's a great idea.
This is the Macau talking. This is what happens when a lot of people who just want to put a lot of money in. This is what happens. A nice pot developing here, Lucky Bhai with the King 3, 2 pairs versus the 6 pair of McFly.
Well, I've been told only 99 entries are allowed to play, which is
one should have 100.
Can't have 100 is too much. That's where we draw the line.
That's a lot. 99 we can deal with. 100 not happening. And Lucky Bhai puts it in clearly because of that third king on the river.
Yeah, I think it's a great shove here. The second king sort of makes the 2 pair even better, and since he's putting all his stack in, McFly might level himself to call this down, and that's what he does. McFly, unfortunately, our third place finisher, and we are down to heads up with the potato.
Yeah, there we go. Potato. You've got 3 people behind. 4 people if you count a certain imposter who was here for a while, and well, I'm not going to say anything more. But pocket 6s for Lucky Bhai once again. Clearly getting lucky with a number of hands that is coming his way. Premium stuff, which is always useful at a final table. And in heads up, it's practically priceless. And just to remind our viewers, we've got a contest going on. And in case you hadn't heard it the first time, you need to guess what the guaranteed prize pool of the Ultimate Value series that starts in February is going to be. So tell us what the guarantee of the UVS is going to be, and you could win a ticket worth 2,200 beg your pardon, 3,300 rupees into the Mega Stack event tomorrow evening. So in order to try and win a chance to get that ticket, you need to mention your answer, tag 3 of your friends, and of course mention your Spartan Poker ID along with that onto any of our social media channels. And we will be announcing a winner for that very, very shortly. I think Evil Potato is just thinking whether he's being messed around with here.
Yeah, but we've seen Evil Potato actually play very, very safe and passive, especially in these positions. He's not gone for too many like bluff catching positions. He's taken the safe way out of such tricky situations. He's not really done too much. Obviously, he had a string of hands where he just, he was supposed to go all in there with the best hand, and I think that's one way to do it. Just hang in there, wait for the right hands, and if they come, you're heads up playing for 50 lakhs.
He's really turning on the pressure, is Lucky Bhai, but gets a call and gets lucky at the same time. Lucky Bhai, बहुत सोच समझ के आपने अपना आइडिया रखा है, boss. And he's got a little dollar sign at the end of that. So clearly things going his way. Putting out a third of the pot out there as his bet on the flop.
This is actually the first time we've seen Lucky Bhai actually decide to re-raise with, not a premium holding. We can actually see that, heads up, he's widening his range here. And, when your heads up, the worst you can do is finish second, right?
Yep. And second is definitely not a bad place to finish up. Almost 30 lakh rupees for the runner-up of this tournament. And yeah, I'm sure it'll sting a little bit not to take the title, but 30 lakhs, not too bad. With that full house, Lucky Bhai claims one more pot. I'm loving all these connectors, suited or otherwise, that are coming up. It just gives not only these players a lot to play for in this heads-up match, but as commentators, I think we all like these particular suited connectors and connectors in general. Just makes for a lot of interesting play sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And Lucky Bhai is using it to his advantage, putting the pressure on, taking the massive chip lead. And I think if Evil Potato does not pick up two hands, just from the style of his play, I think he's going to find it really tough to play against such an aggressive player.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I almost feel I'm watching a different player play now. Since Heads Up has started, Lucky Bhai has just kind of switched on a light or something, and he can see his cards now, and he's starting to get very, very aggressive with all his holdings, and it's actually really, really good to see. Because the difference between an aggressive player heads up versus a more passive player heads up is tremendous. And, with passive players heads up, it's much easier to maneuver around them and, limp in positions and to see a lot of flops and try to outplay them post. But when you have an aggressive player, every pot is getting bloated, every pot is getting bigger. And when you are Evil Potato and you have less stacks to play with, it puts a lot of pressure on you.
I like how consistent he's been with his betting. I mean, he's been firing out a third of the pot, virtually every hand in the last 5 to 6 hands that I've seen. And keeping the pressure right on is Lucky Bhai.
Yeah, Evil Potato now starting to open up. I think he also would get to a point where he will definitely try to play back. And if he doesn't have a hand to back up, I think Lucky Bhai can really take this away from him.
Yeah,
this is getting ridiculous. He's hitting every board right now. What is it?
Yeah, it's so hard to play back at someone where you can't connect with the board at all. And as much as they might be messing with you, it's just so hard to get your chips in there with king high, on boards and stuff like that. Let's just hopefully Evil Potato can get momentum going, because momentum is so important heads up as well, because there are times where things aren't going your way and you're really, really starting to feel helpless and questioning every move, and feeling like, because the speed of heads up is much faster as well, and you're just kind of feeling like, oh my god, why is it all against me? and it's detrimental to your confidence. And having confidence in this game is so crucial.
Man, I got to really feel for Evil Potato here. I just feel for him right now. This is just harsh.
Yeah, he took this bluff spot. He bet pretty big on the turn, and the queen seemed like a good card from him from his vantage point for a bluff. But unfortunately, Lucky Bhai has been extremely lucky for the last couple of hands, and he's hitting everything. And again, taking down the pot. This will be very frustrating for Evil Potato. And I think he has to keep his calm. I think if he does not wait this period out, it's going to be really tough for him. He might. Okay, so that's one way to do it. Hit a flush, and then and just bet 3 streets of value. Wow!
Oh, what an interesting turn.
Look at that.
That's
so Lucky Bhai.
Chips are going to go by. Lucky Bhai is going to say bye-bye.
And Lucky Bhai might just raise here because, although the board is not great, but Lucky Bhai has the pretty top of his range at this moment. And yeah.
Oh, yes. We see actually Evil Potato gets a full double up there.
Well, all that bad feeling or feeling bad rather for Evil Potato, now we can calm down a little bit with that double up that he does in that particular hand. Some tips to lay with here.
It was quite an emotional roller coaster for us because we can't have the potato go through all of this bad luck.
Alone.
We had to, have him come back into the game, and he has done that exactly. Open ender for Lucky Bhai, going aggressive again, making a very large bet here.
I think by the time the next series rolls around, we're going to see usernames like Lay's, Pringles, Mota, whatever. Everyone's going to just break out their favorite potato chip brand into their usernames. Clearly something's going well for it.
And it's strange. I think Celina has done 3 streams, and all final tables have had potatoes on it, and it's something. I mean, these are pretty large sized events, and for the potato to make it a final table, I mean, I'm going to change my user ID to something potato. I don't know. I want to think about it.
Well, clearly, being the first 2 which were won by potato player that Celina was a part of, and what Richie says, especially this tournament, what a massive field. I mean, it's almost 4,000 entries. So what are the chances here? I mean, poker is all about probabilities and stats. That's got to be some kind of a stat. 3,980 odd plus entries. And still, potato comes through.
Yeah, Lucky Bhai again getting a nice piece of this flop. Flop's the open ender. Great spot for him to bet. Again goes for the 1/3 pot. Evil Potato does not have any piece of that flop, and he folds.
Yeah, he's like a machine, Lucky Bhai, in that 1/3 of the pot raise that's just continuously going at his end. 40 million chips for Lucky Bhai with the $sign against potato player with a little over 17 million in chips.
Finally, a pair for Evil Potato.
So for the live IPC series, how many players is normally turn out for the main event?
I think the last one I'll need to recheck that, but I think we crossed 400 if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
I think it was bigger than that.
Yeah, I'll need to check on that, but at least 400 players for sure. For a buy-in of what's 50,000 in dollars?
About 800.
800 US.
Okay. Oh, that's great. It could turn into one of those red dragons that they used to have in Macau that gets some sick numbers.
That's basically the plan that, not the plan, but the vision that we had for the IPC from way back when was that, we're going to emulate the MPC as the tournament for India and build towards that 1,000 player. That's the goal, get 1,000 players into the main event. Here's a nice hand for both players. And I've just been informed it was 693 entries for the main event in the IPC Jan 2020 series. Clearly, I was very off, but not in a bad way. 600, almost 700 entries.
Oh, that is a great number.
So we're not too far off, but silly things like the COVID have done us in as far as live events are concerned. But here we are, watching this exciting final table of a main event, the Crown, the IOPC Crown.
I think it's going to come back bigger and stronger. People are going to be just so starved of tournaments to play. I know I am, so I might be going to Goa.
Well, that turn card, my gosh.
Yeah,
this could be the end of it all, I feel. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, kind of a saving grace for Evil Potato, that 8 of spades, brings in the flush, brings in the one card of straight.
Yeah, and he chose to keep the pot small by checking back on that turn, which I like quite a bit. And, you know, yeah, I mean, this is not going to get his chips in the middle at all.
He's really thinking about it.
I think Lucky Bhai has got like a RNG for his bet sizing. because it's very erratic, the bet sizing that he's choosing. It might work in his favor to a point where Evil Potato like sort of gets irritated and plays back at him. But otherwise, in like from the standard play in poker, I think he's quite random with his choices of bet sizing.
Well, we have a winner for our contest. We asked you what is the guaranteed prize money for the upcoming Ultimate Value series at Spartan Poker. We asked you this contest question for a ticket worth 3,300 into tomorrow evening's Mega Stack. And we have a winner in Gopal Kumar Jha, playing with the username Poker Star. And the answer, of course, is 1 crore guaranteed as the overall prize pool and 10 lakhs guaranteed for the main event at the UBS. So lots to play for if you're a small ball player, as far as maybe a beginner player or someone who's just testing the waters. This would be a great series for you to take part in. At the moment, though, congrats to Gopal Kumar Jha for claiming that ticket. We'll see you at the virtual felts tomorrow evening at the Mega Stack. Computer hand.
What kind of adjustments would you sort of advise Evil Potato to make, Celina, based on whatever little that you've seen from him?
Well, I feel like Lucky Bhai is never really giving up his button position. So I'll probably pick some hands to raise his button raises with. But no, that being said, though, Evil Potato doesn't have much of a stack here to really do that, except to possibly just shove over a raise. It is tough because, like, heads up, you know, sometimes the range that you see is just so, yeah, I mean, like this hand here, it's so hard heads up to get away from, you know.
And I was trying to tell, say something on the lines of the fact that since he has such a short stack, he should not be raising and playing post flop, and he should pretty much go all in. Like the King 9 would have played really well as a shove rather than, you know, play it post flop, because he does not have much room to play post flop. But now that we are here at the flop, Lucky Bhai has again outflopped Evil Potato, and I think all the stacks are going in here.
There's a bit of a harsh way to sort of end it all, and we do feel that this is going to come to an end, and there you have it. Wow, he hits 2 pair, man, it just hurts that much. And there you have it, folks. That's the end of this final table of the IOPC Crown. What a fantastic end to the proceedings. Lucky Bhai proving that his username has been absolutely lucky for him. He picked up hands right through. He got pieces of the flop at every stage. We mentioned his slightly erratic betting, but he was consistent about it right through. And I think it's fair to say, Celina, that he is a deserving winner on this one.
Yeah, I actually did see him kind of like take it easy, and kind of got the chip lead and never really lost it. You know, he kind of preserved his stack we saw him was like 6-handed, 4-handed, so forth. And then he suddenly changed gears heads up and became really, really aggressive and dominated that heads up match. It's something that I actually didn't expect. I felt like, oh my God, the player just like had, a full 180, and he played really, really well heads up, and he never ever took that gas pedal off the whole entire match heads up, and that actually locked in his win for him.
Well, Ruchi, I think it's fair to say that as much as we loved Evil Potato and his username, a little bit of loss as far as traction is concerned, and I think when he began really well, he sailed through to the top 3 and in fact into heads up. But a little bit of steam getting lost along the way of that heads up battle.
Yeah, I think this is what we were speaking about earlier. When newer players come into such large field events and come to the final table, it's very difficult for them to sort of adjust to the dynamic of heads up play or 3-handed play, because usually you don't play short-handed in tournaments, and when you do, it sort of takes a lot of adjusting to do. Like Evil Potato did amazing throughout the final table, where he preserved his stack, he came in there. But as soon as we got to heads up, I think we saw a very clear distinction. Obviously, Lucky Bhai ran better than him, but at the same time, Lucky Bhai was being very aggressive, and I think usually it comes down to being able to put the pressure on your opponent, and that's what he did. And Laksh Pal Singh, actually, I've seen him play quite a lot of tournaments on Spartan. We haven't seen him make a big win, but here we are. I think this one's a great one to start with.
I feel a shift in the force. Oh, well, there he is. Shakal. Welcome back to the broadcast, Mr. Suresh Menon.
So I feel...
Pick up my spot and entertaining these folks in the time I was not here.
I'm see, the moment I walked away, Evil Potato, the moment I walked away, Evil Potato wasn't effective. So I'm back, but unfortunately he's not. So I want him to change his username next time, because Lucky Bhai won. He should name his name, username should be Shaki Bhai, so that he'll be suspicious of every move made by Lucky Bhai. So I think Evil Potato should be Shaki Bhai.
Well, there you go. That's some piece of advice from Suresh Menon, who's joined us for the final end of this broadcast. Suresh, obviously this is something that we've done, broadcast commentary for our live events together, including with you and Richie and myself. But it's a little different. The action's paced much faster online. How was the experience for you?
It's just quite difficult to keep up and keep attention on the table and at Celina. I mean at the commentary. So it was a little bit difficult, but it was wonderful, and having Celina here, I was actually speaking very nervous. Let me tell you that. I was thinking, what if I make a boo-boo on saying something on the game and she said, "Hey, who's this idiot? Please get him out of here." No. So I got worried a little bit, but in the end, I think it ended very well, and I'm so happy to have met all of you all. Actually, not both of you all, only Celina. Namaste.
Suresh, you're a shameless flirt. Charming, but shameless. You don't realize she's taken, right?
Of course, even I'm taken. Oh, Taken was that great film also, anyway.
Great film. Well, you're looking like one of those movie villains, so fair enough.
अगर मैं जल्दी से ताश शुरू करूंगा तो मैं भी खेलूंगा अगले बार पोकर टूर्नामेंट मैं भी प्रैक्टिस करूंगा इट्स अ स्पोर्ट एंड आई एम अ वेरी स्पोर्टिंग मैन
I hope we get screenshots of this, because there's a bunch of memes that we can put out there. Anyway, coming back to the game, just want to take you through all of the payouts that have just happened, starting with the first elimination at this final table. That was, of course, Anant Purohit, aka Prometheus, who took home a big award in 8th place for 5.77 lakhs. Following him was Kalagato in 7th place. That's Anirudh Singhal, who won 7.57 lakhs. One of the stalwarts of the scene, who's been around for more than a decade, and that was Raman Gujral playing as Tathagat, who took home 9.56 lakhs for his 6th place finish. Following Raman was Suresh Kolli playing as Poker Gambit, and he took home 11.55 lakhs for his 5th place finish. And then there was Beast 555, who was the chip leader by far, 63 big blinds, which was quite a healthy stack to get into this final table with. But close but no cigar for Beast 555 as he went out in 4th place for 14.14 lakhs. Coming into the top 3 payouts, so you had Yudhister Jaswal, who was playing as McFly, and he took home 17.53 lakhs. And then it was down to 2 heads-up battle between Lucky Bhai and Evil Potato, our favorite username of this evening. Evil Potato, unfortunately, was not able to get enough traction in heads-up, and he ended up as the runner-up, taking home just under 30 lakh rupees, 29.92 lakhs for his efforts. And after a while, ladies and gentlemen, we've had a straight through to the title, and there was no deal or anything of sorts. And the player who stood tall at the end of it all was Laksh Pal Singh, playing as Lucky Bhai, who takes home 51.8 lakh rupees. And that's not all, folks. He also gets a seat at the IOPC Masters table, which takes place tomorrow evening. And we're going to have a lot of fun at that table with Richie and a whole bunch of other pros from the circuit, as well as the chance for these players at the IOPC Masters table to win themselves a customized Breitling Avengers Chronograph 43 watch, which is going to have the words mastermind inscribed on it. So that's for the player who will truly be the mastermind, the winning player of that IOPC Masters table, who will take home that watch and be crowned as the mastermind of IOPC Jan 2021. Parting thoughts as we leave, Richie. This has been one of those fairly smooth final tables, I guess, but one of those where we saw a lot of action to begin with. There was a little bit of an ebb and flow, but Lucky Bhai just, once they were down to like 4 or 5, it was just him all the way.
Yeah, absolutely. He never looked like he was, in danger or he was losing his tempo. I think he maintained his stack. He maintained his composure throughout the game. He did do some, weird plays or different plays, but I think all in all, he played overall really well. The pros departed very soon, and what was left was 6 players who were really good and really hungry for the title. And Lucky Bhai, as his name suggests, was super lucky and played with so much skill and so much talent. I think he deserves to win this one. Evil Potato, unfortunately, couldn't win, but never mind. He still made it to second place. A great show from him.
Celina, I just want to touch upon Beast 555. I mean, he came in with such a commanding stack. But were you generally happy with the way he played, even though we did say that some of his moves perhaps were a little bit reckless?
Yeah, I felt like the pocket nines hand was a little bit reckless. He was really trying to be the table captain, and it really didn't work out in his favour. And then obviously when he started getting hands against Evil Potato, and Evil Potato just happened to outpip him every time, it's a very frustrating position for him to be in. And, I felt like he slowed down. He didn't kind of try to push things as much after he lost that pocket nines to the aces hand. It is very, very, it's so hard because you come into a final table and you have the chip lead, you have so much high hopes for it, and at the end of the day, there's only one person that's really happy walking away from any final table, and that is the winner. And I can't say this enough, like, you're always going to go back, and if you haven't won the tournament, you're going to keep thinking, what did I do wrong? How can I improve? Which hand changed the tournament for me? Which was the hand that is going to be in my nightmares tonight? That's kind of usually what the poker players are thinking, because when you finish, fourth, like the Beast did, compared to finishing first, that is a huge amount of money we're talking about here. It's almost 3.5 times the amount. And, when is your next time you're going to be on a final table with that kind of payout, right? Those are the things that you think about. And that is one of the reasons why, the professional poker players take it easy when it comes to final tables, ICM, big tournaments. And then they always try to ladder up. Even it means that they always come finishing second or third, But in the long run, they're going to see more money to their name than if somebody who come out blastering, getting first, and then possibly, finishing the bottom of the ladder the rest of the time. So it's really all about make the most of it when you can. And those times when you make the final table, you've got to just really hold on to it.
Well, my last question. Suresh. Here, look here. He's totally wrapped in attention there. So, Suresh, one question for you as well. Feeling inclined towards taking a shot at these poker tournaments online? I know you've played live a little bit, but you think you're going to try and take a shot at these online tournaments?
Oh, yes, definitely. I think I am going to now start playing because it's interesting. What I saw is that it's how much of temperament you have within. So sometimes you take a chance and you do not know whether you're taking the right chance and you're trying to outthink the other person always. It's like basically it seemed to me like more of a chess game with a little bit of mathematical calculations going on in your mind. So I quite enjoyed it. And if Azharuddin was the captain, or if he had to comment on this one of the playing, if he had to comment on Lucky Bhai, he would have said basically the boys played very well, and the king played very well, the queen played very well, the ace played very well, the king and the nines played very well, and the tens also supported him, and that's all, the boys played very well. So,
and with that, we have Suresh Menon's thoughts on that. This IOPC series coming to its end tomorrow evening with that Masters table. I've just been informed that we are going to get Laksh Pal Singh on the call. So let's just try and connect with him. Well, clearly, Laksh is busy trying to make plans for that 51 lakh rupees. Hello, Lucky Bhai. Laksh Pal Singh. Congratulations, my friend. Very well played.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
We are very, very excited because you have stayed true to your name. You've of course played very well at this final table, but you have to admit, Laksh, that there was a lot of spots where you got lucky. You got many flops going your way.
I definitely agree with that. Definitely ran good. And it feels good to run good.
Well, I basically I've been asking the same question across all the final tables, but was there ever a point where, at this final table that you thought, okay, this is the turning point? Was there any particular hand that sort of struck you at that point that, yeah, okay, I could perhaps go on to win from here?
The thing is, I think I started off pretty well. I think I picked up the momentum in the start itself with a couple of 3-bets and stuff. But post that, obviously, the queen versus king's hand where I spiked the queen to give me like a pretty big chip lead. I think that was definitely the turning point. So there, it was quite a smooth sailing. So yeah, I really enjoyed playing the tournament.
Well, that's safe to say, man. You banked 51 lakh rupees. I think it's fair to say that you did enjoy that stuff. But yeah, it's a wonderful feeling, no doubt. I have 3 special people who are with me here in the commentary booth, and I'm going to give it to Rishi Haridasoham if he has a question for you. Just 1 second, please.
So, Laksh, congratulations. What I want to ask you is, when you went heads up, was there something different that you did against the evil potato, or were you just trying to be aggressive and take the tournament down?
Hi Richard. First of all, thank you so much. And secondly, in terms of strategy and heads up, I don't really think I did something very different as to how I would normally play. But yeah, I definitely think I did kind of step up the aggression and try to go a little harder at him and put a bit of pressure. And I think that worked out pretty well.
Well, you certainly have a fan in all of us, and especially Celina Lin. Celina, any questions for our winner?
Yeah, I get asked this a lot, but congrats. And what are you going to do with all that money?
Thank you so much, Celina. Actually, I haven't really thought about what I'm going to do with it. But yeah, probably invest it and play more poker.
Run it up, right?
That's a very boring answer.
Yeah, I'm sometimes, Victor.
I think that's not very fair thing to say, man. Your boringness, so to speak, is the one that has taken you this far. And there's one final person who looks like he's got a very interesting question to ask you, or it might just be something very, very a question that puts you right on the spot. Suresh Menon, you look like you want to ask something very sunssunny.
No, nothing. I was very interested when he said that he would like to invest some money. So, Lucky, firstly, congratulations for winning this tournament. And you defeated the evil potato. But I don't...
I couldn't get your question.
So, I want to ask you only one thing. Since you said that you want to invest money, I got a scheme, which is basically you give all the money to me, and then 2 years it will become double. I do not know about the money, but your tension definitely will become double.
No, please, I'm not interested in the scheme.
Wow, shut down hard, Suresh. Shut down really hard.
Have a great
giveaway when you use the word scheme.
I think because I was watching Suresh Bhai on the stream while he was commentating, and I know he's up to some mischief for sure.
Congratulations.
Sorry, Suresh, can you repeat that?
Congratulations, Lucky. Enjoy the moment.
There you go, Lucky. Thanks so much for your time, Laksh. I'm sure you're going to have like a major party happening over the course of this evening. So congrats once again. And we'll see you at the IOPC Masters table tomorrow evening. Well done.
For sure. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. And there you have it, folks.
The Masters table is day after, the 3rd.
Oh, sorry. So clearly, I'm also excited with the win by Lucky Bhai and moving up on my facts. But yeah, that's the 3rd of February where we will see Lucky Bhai playing with some of the other winners of the marquee events and the leaderboard winner as well. All of them get together on that Masters table to play for that fantastic Breitling customized Avengers chronograph 43 watch. My God, that's a long name for that prize, but it looks really cool, and I'm sure the winner will love to sport that whenever they play live or online for that matter. So I think it's fair to say that that was quite an exciting broadcast. I would like to thank our co-commentators, Celina Lin, Richard Haridasoham, and of course, the always funny, always charming, very shameless flirt, Suresh Menon, who's joined us for this broadcast. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time. And we will see you on the next live stream very, very soon. Till then, this is Peter Abraham from the IOPC Crown Tournament, which is sponsored by SpartanPoker.com. See you soon.